So inshallah we're going to start the class. So we will do the ayat number 5 of Surah Al-Bayyinah. So I'm going to do a simple translation first, and then we will go and do the breakdown of the words here. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. وَمَا أُمِرُوا, and they were not commanded. Here the ma means not. They were not commanded. Illa, except. Liya'budullaha, that they should worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mukhlisina, sincerely, with purity and sincerity. Being sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Lahuddin, to his religion. To the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hunafa'a, upright, straight. Okay? وَيُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةَ, and they should establish the prayer. And we'll try to understand what that means. Establish the prayer. وَيُؤْتُ الزَّكَاةَ, and they should give the zakat, the charity. وَذَلِكَ, and this is Deenul Qayyima, the very straight religion. Okay? So this is the gist of this ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is informing about doing certain things. Okay? So let's go and understand some of the roles here and then the breakdown. So the first letter is wa. Wa means and. Many ayats of the Quran starts with the letter wa. Wa. It's just a style, because something which is being said before that is not completely finished. So the topic continues, and the ayat starts with the word wa, which means and. Okay. Now the next word starts with these three letters: alif, mim, and ra. Okay. And this actually we call alif, but this is, as soon as you put this thing, it's a hamza. Okay. So this is alif with a little sign, and we'll see what it does. Amara. Amara in Arabic means to command. To give an order. To issue a command. That means amara. Okay? Also, we know that if we have these three letters, fa, an, and lam, and separately there are three letters, fa, an, and lam, which means to do. And if we put one fatha on each of them, fa'ala, it means he, and the past tense did. Okay. So the basic, simplest grammar, fa'ala, he did. So if we apply that rule here, this will become amara. Amara. Amara means he, and the past tense, which is he commanded. This can be written together as amara, which means he commanded. Or he ordered. Something of the past tense. He ordered or he commanded. Okay, so one person. Okay, he. Now the rule to make plural is that if we add a vowel at the end, like this, and put an alif which is not recited, and then pronounce this as amaru. Amaru, this brings the meaning of they, plural. They commanded. So that's how you make the plural from the singular. Waw is the sign of making it a plural. Okay. So amaru, some people, they are issuing a command, or they are ordering some people to do something, that is amaru. Okay. Now, they commanded or they did something is an active voice. means someone is ordering to do something, okay? So this is active. We want to make a passive of this thing. Passive will be in English mean they were commanded. If I change this sentence, they were commanded, it will become a passive. Okay? So this is what we want to make here. They were commanded. Okay. What we do in Arabic when we want to go from active to passive. Rule is simple that we make very few changes in the Arab here. Okay. What we do, we take the first letter here and change this fatha into a dhamma. So it will be U. And the second letter, we just change into a kasra. That's all. And rest of this stuff same. Okay. So Amaru became Umiru. We just changed the haraka on first two letters. A became U, Ma became Mi. Amaru, they commanded. Amaru, they were commanded. Okay? So now it becomes totally different thing. Okay? So that is how we make the passive voice. Okay? Now I'm going to add one more thing here. Ma. Ma means not. So Ma umiru means they were not commanded.
But Ra still has the fatha. You didn't change it to...
So for pronunciation, because the wow, yes. The reason I left it there, the rule is adding a wow. Okay? But when you combine the previous letter for pronunciation, then this will also change to a dhamma. Okay? So it is, the simple rule is that first you add the wow at the end. But if the previous letter has a dhamma, sound changes. Okay? Because otherwise you cannot pronounce that properly. So the word is in the Quran, Vama umiru, and they were not commanded. They were not ordered. So it's a negative statement. Okay? Now a couple of small things. There is a rule that if you have a Hamza and you have an Alif before the Hamza in the words, in the combination of the words, then this Alif should be pronounced with a long mud. That's the rule of Tajweed. Okay? So if you notice that this Alif of Mim, Ma here, and there is a Hamza after that. So which is this kind of combination here. So this has to be, Ma has to be pronounced with a long mud. Okay? If they were not together, then Ma will be simple Ma. But in this case, Ma has to be pronounced Wama, long mud. Okay? This is the rule of recitation and tajweed. So that's the reason this mud is there. Otherwise, mud was not there to begin with. So, Wama umiru, and they were not commanded. So, meaning so far is and they were not commanded. It's order. Okay. So the next word is illa. Illa means except, which is written this way. Illa means except or but. Both are meanings, but here will be illa means except. Okay. So the meaning is except. Okay, so I want to point out one more thing, that up to this point when we say umiru, the waw had only a sukoon there. Okay? But as soon as you put the word illa after that, there is a hamza here. Okay? So the second rule is that if you have a vav and then you have a hamza after that, then this vav must be pronounced with the mad also. And the third thing is that if you have a ya and you have a hamza, then this ya has to be pronounced. These three letters, alif, waw and ya, are also called huruf mad. They are simple three letters, but as soon as they see a hamza after them, these have to be pronounced long. So if you notice that on the waw there is a hamza also. If you look in the paper I gave, there is a mad also on the waw. That mad is coming because of illa. Otherwise you simply pronounce umiru. Because of illa you have to pronounce umiru. You have to stretch it. Okay? So they were not commanded except, the meaning so far is that some people, whoever they are, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says they were not commanded, they were not ordered except to do something. So what is the next thing? Except. Okay. So now let's start with this word, these three letters, ain, ba and dal. Abada means to worship. Abid is the one who worships. Again, going back to the rule that if you have these three letters, fa and lam, and you put a ya in the beginning, yaf'alu, ya brings the meaning of he and present tense. He does. He does. So ya brings the meaning of present tense and third person. So do the same thing, you put a ya in the beginning and becomes ya'budu. Ya'budu means he and present tense means he worships. Third person and present tense. He is worshipping or he worships. Okay? So the only difference is that, and we'll go into detail, that the middle letter can carry dhamma, fatha or kasra. In this case, middle letter is dhamma here. Ya'budu. Okay? He worships. Okay? Now, if you put a vav and noon after that, Buna, it becomes the plural. Okay, so the plural would be they worship. Okay, and this will become Ya'buduna. Okay, Ya'buduna means many people, they, plural, worship or are worshipping. Present tense. Ya'buduna. Okay. So you add a ya in the beginning and guna at the end, it becomes plural of third person. Ya'buduna. Okay. Now, the simple meaning is that they worship. Okay. Now we want to make a change in the English. If I want to translate that, they should worship. This is the English we want to use now. What is they should? They should is an advice. Okay? You should do it. Okay? I'm suggesting to do something. Okay? We want to bring a word in English of the meaning of they should. Or another way of saying, let them do it. Okay? Which is also advising that they should do it. Okay? What we do in Arabic to bring this meaning from this, here we just added the should here in English. What we do here, so that brings the meaning of should in this statement. Okay? It's very simple. Again, what we do, we put a lam in the beginning. Li. And we remove the last letter, noon. Okay? So it remains li ya'budu. So what is left here? Li ya'budu. Liya'budu. So this brings the meaning of should. And we write an extra alif which is not recited to stop it. It's called alif al-wiqaya. It is not recited, it's just written there. Okay? So this li brings the meaning of so that they should worship. So you have a question.
Yeah, Li is a huruf jar, right?
Right, but the lam has many meanings.
So
Okay.
it
This is not a harf jar. This is called lam taqi,
Takid.
not taqid.
Amir, Amr.
No, that's a different lam. That is lam emphasis. This is called lam taqi. Taqi means so that.
So
Okay,
this is
so-
Fele Amr?
No, it is not amar. It is if you are suggesting someone to do something.
Okay.
It is a polite way of saying you should do it. Even though if you don't do, there is nothing wrong. Okay? But you're suggesting that. Okay? Now here, that is simple meaning. But if from the context of the ayah, if you look at, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already used the word amara here. They were not commanded except that they should worship. So even though it is a suggestion or a should, okay, but it should be taken as a command. Because it's coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even an advice or a suggestion coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be taken as an order, should be taken as a command.
So it should be Lam Amr then. No?
It is not lam amar because lam amar does not bring the meaning of so that. Okay? It is very close. Okay? But we are trying to bring the meaning of should. Okay? For should, this is what is done. A lam is added, lam taqi, so that. Okay? For example, I went to a store so that I could buy something. So I'm giving you the purpose of going to this store. Okay? So that I could do it. Or I should do it. Okay? So we are bringing the meaning of should, which is very close to the amr.
So is it Takid?
It is not a taqid,
Oh.
it's a taqe.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay? So that they should worship. Okay? Otherwise, the meaning will be they must worship. If it's a lam taqid, then it will be a must. Okay? But because the amara is coming in the beginning, so this should be taken as an order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that these people were not commanded except they should worship. Word after that is Allah. So they should worship Allah. Okay? Or let them worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So this is the concept of bringing the advice or suggestion in the Arabic word, that we remove the noon and we add a lam in the beginning. So that, okay, they worship, and the word after that is very clear, Allah. So they should worship or let them worship Allah. Okay. Now there may be that some translators may have used the must worship, but I think it is in this case is very close to the advice. Okay. So they should, or let them worship, or they should. That's very common meaning of this word. Okay, so this will be except they should worship. Worship Allah.
Waw noon is for plural used, but then waw alif is also for plural used. What's the difference?
No. In this case, that's the reason I started from here.
Yeah,
From a singular, I made the plural.
right,
Now, this statement is made from the plural.
right.
Okay? But by removing noon, we brought the concept of should in there.
So, okay.
And li is so that, take.
So that noon will take over, okay,
Yeah, so removal of the noon
and put the L.
and putting the lam in the beginning is bringing the English word should in there.
So
But
this is
still-
one of the bab?
The bab is abada.
No, but this has a number also, the li and the way you
No,
form it, no?
no. Bab, after that, bab goes away. The grammar becomes. Okay, so this is all this is the grammar of these three letters. Okay, so that's how they're bringing the concept of should in the translation. Okay, now you will notice also that I'm jumping. This word was yuqimuna. Okay, yuqimuna means to establish. Qayam. Okay. The same thing we did here, we removed the noon here. So it will bring the meaning,
Should.
they should establish the prayer, salat. This word was yutuna. They give. By removing the noon, we bring the concept of
Should.
they should give the zakat. Okay? So this li here actually
Taken for all.
is applying to
All.
here and here also. Okay? And we're removing the word, full word is yuqimuna. Okay? We are removing the noon from there just like that. So in all these three parts, we are bringing the meaning of they should do it. They were not commanded except that they should worship Allah, they should establish the prayer, and they should pay the zakat. Okay? So this is what the whole ayat is continuing. Okay, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining one more aspect of the abada, ibadat. Worshipping of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being more emphasized now by the word mukhlisina. So let's look at that word. So the word starts with these letters kha, lam and swad. Khalasa. This means to purify or to be sincere. Okay. And mukhlisun is a person who is sincere. A sincere person. Ikhlas, the one who has sincerity in him, is mukhlisun. Okay. Akhlasa or khalasa. Okay. Its plural is mukhlisun. So this is one person. One person is sincere. And if we add wuna, it becomes mukhlisuna, which is plural. Sincere, and this is plural. Just like you have a Muslim, one Muslim, you add wuna, it becomes muslimuna, which is plural. Okay? Mukhlisuna, sincere people. Muslimuna, believing people. Okay? So that's how we make the plural. Okay? So mukhlisuna, sincere people. Okay? Now, this sincerity of the people is coming after a verb. If you notice that the verb is abada. Okay? So these people who are worshipping, they have to be sincere. Okay? So also, I just want to remind a rule going back is that if you have a verb here, khalaqa. Khalaqa means he created. And you want to add one other word, insano. Al-insano. The man. Khalaqa, he created, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. What did he create? A man. Man is being created. Okay? So, this is a verb here, and this is a noun. When these two come in a combination, then insano becomes insana. It changes this dhamma to a fatha. Meaning remains same insano, but when a noun comes after the verb, then the last letter dhamma changes into a fatha. Okay? This is for one. Okay? This is a plural. When a verb comes after, a noun comes after the verb, then this changes into a ya. So abada is like a verb, mukhlisuna is the noun, and it changes, if it is a plural, waw into a ya, so it becomes mukhlisina, meaning remains same. Okay? Just like in the Quran you will say muslimuna, muslimina. You will see munafiquna, munafiqina. Why it changes? Because this is the rule that they are coming after that.
But Allah is the word after ibadah. So
Allah is not a verb.
no, verb is ab.
Yeah.
So Allah is the noun after
So
that.
Allah also changed from Allahu to Allah.
Yeah,
But
will it continue?
mukhlisina is the second thing after that.
If it had a third one, will it change that?
If the context keeps going, yeah, it can have. For example, look here. This li here is having impact here and there, so it can go too far out. Okay, so that's a good point. Originally, the word was Allah, who, by the same rule, it became Allah. Okay, then the other word was other noun was mukhlisuna, it became mukhlisina. Okay, because of the abada. Meaning does not change. That's the word of the Arabic style, that by changing the sound they identify these things. So sincere, being sincere. Okay. Okay. Now the next word is lahuddir. Okay, it's very interesting. You will notice again here, la and who. Lahu means to him or for him. La means for or to. Okay. So to him or for him or for his. Okay. When we put the next word, dinun means religion. Deen of Allah. Okay. When you put al before that, al, the, when you put al, two dhammas change into one, so it becomes al dino, the religion. When you pronounce, you do not pronounce lam, instead of pronounce dal twice, because dal is a shamsi letter. So you put ad-dino. Okay? This is another noun. Okay? This is another noun which is coming still after the abada. So this will also change to ad-dina. Okay? Lahud-dina, religion purely for him. You should make your religion purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sincerely with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not try to mix up little thing here, little thing in the religion. And they say, yeah, Allah does that, but those kind of things. Okay, so purely, sincerely, for the sake of only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they should worship. Okay? So Lahuddin, for him, ad-deen, and we'll see more is going to happen. Deen, religion, for him. For him.
Or his religion, either
Or
way.
his religion, yeah. Okay. Now let's look at another word. And all these are nouns, so they keep happening to them. Hanafa, Hanun and Fa, Hanafa. This means to be straight or upright. Upright is straight. Sida, sida. Okay? Upright is straight. Hanif, Hanifun is the person who is straight. Hanif or Hanifun is someone who is very straightforward, upright. Okay? This name also commonly given. Okay. So this is upright.
A straightforward person.
Straightforward, upright, straight in the belief system, you know. And its plural is hunafa'u. It's plural. Okay. Two things will happen because it's still a noun and coming after that this will become hunafa'a. Also there is a hamza and there is an alif before that. So this alif should be pronounced with a mad. Okay. Hunafa'a, upright. So one should make his religion very sincere for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the same time, this person should be very straight, upright. Only for Allah. Everything he is doing is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is not mixing things, bringing others in the religion with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or anything else, conceptually or by his actions. Okay, so that is they were commanded that they would do all these things. Okay? They will not worship anyone except they being sincere, making their religion straight for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, upright for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is upright. And notice the name of the surah is Al-Bayyina. So all these things are Al-Bayyina. Okay? Then the second thing was that وَيُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةَ. Okay. So this word, the waw in between means and. Okay. And the next three letters are qaf, waw and mim. This means to stand. Qama means to stand. And these are three letters. So three letters belong to the group we call fa'ala. Okay. We'll make a bigger word by adding another letter, bab afala. This is bab number 1. This is bab number 4, where we just add an alif in before the three letters. So this will become alif, qaf, waw and mim. Okay. And the way we sound is, we sound af-ala. Af-ala. So we put the same harakats, it will become aqwama. Okay. Waw with this fatha sign sounds the alif. So it becomes aqama. Aqama means to establish. Okay. It's a very clear difference between the two words. Qauma means to stand. Aqama means to establish. What's the difference between qauma and aqama? Qauma is that you are standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the prayer. So that's qauma. Aqama means you are establishing the prayer, which means you are not doing only your prayer, but you are working so the whole society can pray. You are making masajid, you are inviting people to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are teaching, okay, you are learning, you are conveying the message. All these things, when they will happen, then the salat will be established. Here it is only your salat, your prayer only. But here is the prayer for the whole society. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using this word aqama. Okay? Now aqama and yuqimuna. Yuqimuna means they establish. Yuqimuna means they establish. Okay, just like yafaluna, they do, yabuduna, they worship. You put a ya in the beginning and una at the end, it becomes present tense, third person. Yuqimuna, they establish. And if I remove this here and put a li in the beginning, li yuqimu, meaning will be they should establish. Okay? Li yuqimu means they should establish. So this brought the meaning of should. Okay? Now this lam li is common here, so we are not going to write here, but it will apply there. Okay? It will apply here, but that li, so that's the reason it is not written here. So yuqimuna will become yuqimu, and they should establish. What should they establish? As-salat, the prayers. Okay. So it will be, they should establish as-salat is commonly known as the prayer. Okay. Prayer. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the next word. Alif, Hamza, Ta, and Ya. This means to come. Ata is to come. Okay. 3 letters. So they belong to Fa'ala. Same, I'm going to add one more letter here. So now you have 4 letters. We just added one alif, this alif here. So the meaning of these 4 letters, there are 2 alifs together. This means to give. Okay. And the sound of 2 alif is ah. Okay. And it is also written as this way. There are many ways of writing this. It's also written as this way. It doesn't matter how you write, you have to pronounce correctly. The sound of this is ata. The sound of this word is ata. meaning is that ata means to come, ata means to give. Okay? And the word yutuna is from ata. Okay? Why? Because it's about the zakat. Give zakat. Okay? So that's coming from the give. Okay? So now again, this will be yutuna yutuna. This means they give. Now, we'll go a little bit more in detail. Do we have a few more minutes?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
15 minutes.
Okay. We'll go back to this rule here, that if you have these three letters, fa'ala, and we add a ya in the beginning and guna at the end, okay, and keep the middle letters fa, and lam. Okay. What does this do? Can you see that, or should I write up there? Yeah. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. Ya brings the meaning of third person, plural and present tense. Okay. And this brings the meaning of plural. Okay. So fa'ala means to do, yaf'aluna means they do. They plural, third person, and present tense. So yaf'aluna means they do. Okay. Now I want to apply that rule on this one here. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to put a ya in the beginning and guna at the end. Right? Okay. And put the three letters in the middle. Okay. That will give me the meaning they give. They give. Okay. So if I put the three letters in the middle, it will be Hamza, Ta, and Ya. Okay. And it's going to sound very strange, but it's going to be Yutayuna, something like that. Okay. This is not the final word. Now, many things happen here. One thing happens is that this word has a weak letter ya. Weak letter sound goes away. If it is difficult to pronounce, we don't pronounce. So the sound of this letter will go away totally. Okay. So what will be left? Yutuna. Okay. So it will be, I'm going to write here, one more time up here, will be Yutuna. This is actually the word left, Yutuna. Okay. Yutuna means they give. But if you notice in the Quran, there is a vav here after ya. After, if you look in the text, that is written. After the ya, there is a vav there. And in this letter anywhere, except that this guna, there was no vav here. What is vav doing here? This vav. Vav is acting as a chair for Hamza. Hamza is a very poor letter. It needs something to sit on. Okay? So that is the reason if you are pronouncing you too, you are pronouncing this wrong. It is not you. You are not supposed to pronounce wow. Wow is just sitting far below. Yuhu, just like yuhu. That should be the pronunciation should be this one. Yuhu. Ya with Hamza. Yuhu. That's all. If you said you, like English word you have mispronounced the word. Yuhu. That's all. No you, no. So wow is not really doing anything. It's just sitting there to help Hamza, so Hamza doesn't fall down. That's all. Okay, it's a chair. Okay, that's all it's doing. But don't pronounce wow. Well, wow has nothing to do with this word, except that it is helping Hamza. So yutuna, they give. And if you want to bring the meaning, they should give. Here, do the same thing. Remove this noon and add lam with here. Okay? Liyutu. And again, because that lam is being used there, you don't need to write the lam here. Liyutu, so that they should give. What should they give? Zakat. Okay, so that's a common word. So I'm just leaving zakat as zakat because we know what it is. Otherwise, there is a rule to make the word zakat and salat. We'll take it in some other time. Okay, so they should give, and they should give charity. Charity. Okay, now remember that when most of the time or almost all the time when the word zakat comes in the Quran, it is not that 2.5% that we generally think that we just give 2.5% and we are done. This is not that zakat. Okay, zakat means including 97.5%, whatever you can give. Okay, from your entire wealth, whatever you can give, that's charity. Okay. In the Quran, nowhere 2.5% is defined. Okay? So that's a separate rule for that. That certain amount of wealth, if it's sitting with you for the duration of one whole year, then you take out 2.5%. That's different. This zakat, this charity, if today you got $1 million, you can spend all tomorrow for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So that is different concept here. Okay? So that's zakat. Spend any time, any amount of money. Okay? وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. Va means and. Dhalika means that. What is that? All this just being mentioned is that. That's the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the religion. Okay? That's the deen. Okay? Okay. And qayyima means straight, straightforward. Qayyima means something which is straight. Stand up, Qama is from the root letters Qaf or Mim, which means to stand up. Something which is standing straight is qayyim. Something which is straight, there is no crookedness in that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that is the straight religion. Okay, if you do all these things, especially لِيَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. You start from there. If you are not sincere, if you are not worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with full sincerity, then start from there, then establish the prayer and give zakat. When you start doing all these things, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that is the right religion. So this qayyima means right or straight. Okay.
5 minutes.
Have any questions?
Yeah, I do. Because when you mention about the zakat, Allah could have used this one as infaq, which is different than charity, but zakat is specifically designated as zakat. So all these years we were thinking whenever the word zakat is used in the Quran, is the zakat of what we are mandatory for us. But infaq is the charity that besides zakat that you go.
Infaq means to spend.
Right,
Infaq, nafaqa,
Yeah.
anfaqa means to spend.
right.
Okay? You are spending for different causes. Okay? But the word charity by itself is translated as zakat. So if you see that, if you have an English translation, you look at that, it will be translated as a charity.
So you're not saying this is zakat as zakat was Allah has mandatory to us for 2.5%. That's not the one that one is mentioned in the Quran. That's
No,
what you're saying.
no, that amount, 2.5%. And by the way, different groups of followers,
Oh,
they interpret that 2.5% differently.
oh.
Okay, but that's beside the point. But what that is that if you have a certain amount which is sitting untouched for one whole year, could it be gold, cash, or silver, or similar, okay? After it has been sitting there for one whole year, then the rule of 2.5% applies. Okay? If that is gone before 1 year, then you cannot do anything. Likewise, there are certain assets of your, like your home. Okay, you don't pay zakat on that, 2.5%. So that is a very fixed rule on certain amount of money and wealth. Okay? But here, giving zakat is giving charity. If you are supporting an orphan house, you are giving charity to them. There is no limit for that. You can spend as much as you want to, or Allah gives tawfiq to spend from any amount, even if, as I said, that you don't have to wait for 1 year to be completed. Otherwise, people will not spend on anything except that they will just be 2.5% after 1 year. But then who is going to build the masjid? And who is going to run the charity, the orphan houses and shelters and poor places? Okay? That is all comes under the charity. Those kind of donations all come under the charity, and there is no limit for that. Okay? So this is restricting the ayat if you think this is 2.5% only. Okay? This is spending any amount of money or wealth or anything for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And similarly, some people also take this yuqimu salata, okay, I'm praying my own prayer, that's I'm done. This is not that thing. This is going back into the society and establishing the prayer. And this is going back again to the society and helping the needy and the poor from whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives tawfiq. So that's what this ayat is about. Okay?
In terms of the rule, brother, so that Lee acted on all the verbs that follow it until the verse is over?
The li.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
No, only three words. On the yaqimu and on yutu.
No, okay.
Only on these two words, because originally this was yuqimuna, and this was yutuna, and this was yabuduna. So on these three words, it's just like you take L outside and put a bracket, and rest of the words to go into in the bracket. All three words. So li should apply to all three of them. Okay, so inshallah we'll stop here.